We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi.
We are the empowered youth.
On air, underground.
And this is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Turn it up. Let the speakers boom. Go.
I want to recommend very highly Coilib to every youth out there who has an idea that they want to bring on board. This is a place where you'll be incubated, so to say. Irrespective of how rugged you feel your idea is, you come to this place and we will continuously work on you to make sure that the idea that you have is refined and at least you become the person.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
Coilib for my business has really been a point of growth because I've seen my business move from one point to another. And with Coilib, you get to understand the business aspect of it and how to make money.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
Shabash! Na kama wanavyosema, usijenge ukweni hata kama umeuziwa shamba na baba mkwe. Ndio kauli inayotufungulia vishindo, hoja, siasa, dini, tamaduni, uchumi na mengine mengi yanayohusu vijana, haswa wale wa vyuo. Na maanisha nini? Urejeo mpya wa sehemu ya Meza Moto umedunda tena kila siku ya Ijumaa. Ungana nami Daniel Kihoro ili tusemezane, tuchambue na kudurusu masuala yanayohusu vijana. Na haya yote ni ndani ya runingo ipendayo ya Coilib, ambapo nitakuwa na hodha wako Daniel Kihoro.
We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi.
We are the empowered youth.
On air, underground.
And this is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Turn it up. Let the speakers boom. Go.
I want to recommend very highly Coilib to every youth out there who has an idea that they want to bring on board. This is a place where you'll be incubated, so to say. Irrespective of how rugged you feel your idea is, you come to this place and we will continuously work on you to make sure that the idea that you have is refined and at least you become the person.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
It all started with a promise contained in a manifesto, the slogan, let's make EUSA work. But then there's a difference between the manifesto, a promise, and the reality. And with here today, we are seeking to put the meaning to the endless manifestos. And with me today, we have our distinguished guests. From the first side, we have Mr. Bernard. We have Peace, Madam Peace with us. We have Mr. Dusky, and we have Mr. Jacob with us. Our esteemed leaders today, we are going to discuss about your quest for power, the leadership, the youth and leadership. What has inspired you? What's your drive towards leadership now that you are aspirants in the just to come elections? What are your aspirants? And just to begin, to set foot, what is your quest? What is your driving force towards being a Congress in this just to come elections? Mr. Jacob.
Thank you. First of all, I'll start by thanking Coilib TV for giving us this opportunity to share out our views. Yeah, so I'm aspiring to be the congressperson, FedCos as a faculty, because I'm driven by commitment to serve. I'm passionate about leadership, and the fact that I've been involved in several forums at FedCos, I saw it wise the remaining 1 year I can give whatever I have for FedCos comrades, so that at the end of the day I can also feel proud like I served, and at the end of the day, the student interests are at the center of everything. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Dusky.
Thank you very much. One, I am a firm believer. I don't think for me it's a quest to power. It's a quest to the expression of greater responsibility. This is about that time leaders are to step up, leaders are to produce the best results, leaders are to bring comrades on board. And this is what we want. Power has been there, power has poisoned hearts, but responsibility has brought humility to people's hearts. So for me, it's about responsibility. Taking responsibility, growing together. Let's make FedCos great together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And for me, what majorly drove me to this position is unity. Yes, I want unity between the lecturers and the students and their fellow students, the leaders and the students. Yes, and as far as my knowledge is concerned, where there is unity, God commands a blessing.
Mr. Bernard.
Well, thank you very much. Aspiring for this because it is something that is intrinsic, something from within. Bearing to the fact that I've served in various leadership positions ever since in my academic journey. So I've just been moved always by that person who is low there, that person whose voice can't be heard, that person who, even when oppressed, he can't speak for him or herself. It is that person which inspires me to speak on the behalf of them, and therefore I'm going for FedCos faculty to really give voice to the voiceless comrades. Thank you very much.
Well, pals, guests, Madam Peace, it beats logic. You're the only lady amongst the men.
Yes.
Maybe, don't you find it awkward? And again, how do you manage? How do you pull out, like the only lady? How do you manage to beat all these men on the platform?
Okay. Yes, to me, what moved me personally is the fact that I want to encourage my fellow ladies, yes, to be an example. Like our former, the outgoing president, Cynthia Wanini, was a lady. So I want that continuation to continue to embrace my fellow ladies so that they can do it. You know, regardless of various men, I know I have advantage, and also I know ladies have more influence than men. So I know that when I'm given the power, I can have that influence to empower the faculty.
Down in history in FedCos, just previously, in the 2021, we had a female Congress. Then came the next cohort, and we had Mr. Wilfred Osano, who was then the Congress. Now, is history going to repeat itself? Are you optimistic about taking this seat?
Yes, I'm very optimistic because personally I want that diversity. When a lady leads, we try a man. When a man leads, we try a lady. And that gives me a lot of confidence that I'm going to take the seat.
Wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our esteemed guests here, and everyone is hopes high. That is, at the end of the day, every one of them is going to become a Congress. But as we know, we must have a winner, and we must have someone who will have to learn. Okay, let us get straight to the questions. To our topic of discussion today. We have manifestos with us here. We have promised comrades things. We have promised them things that you will have done. Perhaps you've promised out of something that you've experienced. I have the issue, many of you, let me say Jacob, Madam Peace, and Mr. Bernard, you have included on your manifesto that you are going to ensure early release of results and transcripts. Can you expound on this, considering the fact that the transcripts have been released and you are a comrade like the others? And again, we have CODs, we have the bodies that are responsible for the release of these transcripts and results. Let me start with Jacob.
Thank you. On the question of timely release of transcript, me personally, I feel it's something that's possible, because I usually believe that anything that's not related to rocket science, it's possible, especially as a leader. You have to make sure that you don't let your people down, and you have to step up and deliver. So on the issue of transcript, FedCos as a faculty, we are many. We are the most populated faculty in this institution. So when it comes to release of transcript, it's always a challenge. So what I was advocating for in my manifesto, and what I came up with to help comrades at least get you their transcript early, I want just first of all to start with the finalists. Because you find finalists will get their results late, and in this process, they are preparing for graduation. So before we even tackle the stop 23s or stop 22s, I just want to ensure, first of all, we clear with the finalists. If they get their transcript early enough, I think it's better, because, you know, sometimes there are ups and downs. You may find someone in one way or another, tunasema aliteleza, but kuteleza si kuanguka. He can still wake up and, you know, improve on what he done before. So if we release the transcript early for the finalists especially, they will be ready, and you know, there will be no that challenge when it comes to release of the graduation list. And I think it will be better for all the finalists.
Okay, Madam Peace, what's your take?
Okay, yes, my fellow colleague has just spoken well, and also for me, I would on my own suggestion, I could say that how I am going to handle that early release of transcript. First, when, like personally now, I have not received my results for first semester. Now, and these things sometimes cause us to, we are not aware of the units we have failed, so that at least we prepare ourselves psychologically, financially to retake them, or to how to sit for the receipts. So I will advocate with the help of the lecturers and the CUDs and the dean, so that if possible, that is, if possible, the transcript per semester could be released so that the student can be aware. And if not possible, I know they are in a better position to explain it to me, and I'm in a better position to explain it to my fellow student that this and this is going to be taken care of.
Yeah, Mr. Bernard.
Well, thanks for the question. The thing is, we are saying, and I'm saying that I will really advocate, or rather champion, for early release of results. Through that, I'll ensure that we do it through harmonizing the links between me, first of all, as a congressperson, FEDCOS, together with the deans of the faculty, Madam Dr. Feda, who is very approachable, and she is always ready to listen. By so doing that, I think they can come to a solution where we can have early releases of results, because you'll realize I'm a student of education, and in one of the units called EDCI 351, we are taught of what is called summative evaluation, where the results we expect at the end of a semester, so that we can get to evaluate ourselves to know whether really we are making some improvements or whether we are getting back. And by so doing, we will again plan ourselves. It is possible. It is possible.
Gentlemen and lady, It seems like this issue transcript is across every manifesto except for Mr. Dasky. Let me just run a quick question amongst us. All of us here, I hope we've been promoted to the next year. Is there anyone here among us who has not been? Of course, no. To mean we got our results on time. Amongst us, is there anyone here who got late in admission of the next year? Maybe there is no. But again, we have this issue transcript here. Why is it in our manifestos? And as we are here, actually, Mr. Dasky never highlighted it in his manifesto. Why, Mr. Dasky? Don't you see it as a problem in the faculty?
Yes, it is. It is really an issue. But now, when it comes to the issue of transcripts, it is not just me. This is a collective solution. This is me being the link to the administration, to the students, in conjunction with the class representatives. The greatest importance here is for transcripts to come out. We've talked about evaluations, and also in the coming time, we also need to talk about formative evaluations. Also, the formative evaluations will build towards the one of summative, and we also need to talk about the completion rates. So it is just for us just to work towards the early provision of results, because the period and the time that the transcripts will be released will also determine the mental shape up of the person heading towards the exams. The early I get my results now, I know I have 7 Bs, 6 As. I know what I need to do towards the very end. So it is just a matter of collective. It's a matter of working unitedly, collectively with the administration, in conjunction with the class reps, that even if things don't shape up as the way they shape up, we have a good team of class reps that we can work together with.
So to mean class reps are the ones responsible for the release of transcripts?
Not really. I mean, when it comes to the administration are the ones who work on the release of transcripts, right? But now, when in case of anything, because here we need to work towards whether things go right, whether things go wrong. For me, leadership is more about when things go wrong. The best sailors are not defined when the seas are steady. They are best defined when there are storms. So what we'll work collectively, we'll work together with every single individual to ensure that the administration brings results.
Mr. Jacob, maybe just a highlight. Which body in the institution is responsible for the provision of transcripts?
So when it comes, thank you. When it comes to provision of transcript, first of all, it's a process that begins from the sitting for the examination by students. From the sitting of examination by students, the lecturers will mark the booklets. From there, the lecturers have a specific period, specified time by which they should comply and release the results to the examination department. So from there, from the examination department now, the results can be relayed to all comrades. So it's a matter. The one thing that made me include it in my manifesto, because I saw it, I can come with a strategy that will help at least get these results earlier, and especially for the finalists, not forgetting these other cohorts. So as we speak right now, the lecturers already submitted the marks, and they work under strict timelines. So it means our marks are already, is a matter of processing and releasing. So when it comes to releasing the results now is where the challenge is, and I want to work harmoniously with the examination department, view out the challenges facing the Congress, and I think if we can do that, then we'll have our transcript on time.
Mr. Congress, we learn about organizational structure communication. Do you think it makes sense when you leave the COD, chair of department, to leave the dean and work directly with the examination department? And again, on to you, you've said that you want to focus on the finalists. I'm pretty sure that the institution also focuses on the finalists so that they can release that batch of the year to go. To me, are you going to assume the third years, second years, and first years? To you, Mr. Bernard, as we finalize on the transcript and the missing mark issues, you told us you're going to air concerns of missing marks. What's a missing mark? Missing marks are caused due to various reasons. First one, maybe a student didn't write the registration number. You didn't do a cut. You didn't maybe submit the examination booklet. Personally, how are you going to solve a student not writing a registration number?
Well, thank you. Missing marks, first of all, I acknowledge it that it is two-way traffic causative, that it may be on the side of students that you've highlighted. Secondly, it may be on the side of the lecturers. On the side of students, I am a student. I am part and parcel of them. I know what transpires on our side. And for me, is to make public awareness, to make them aware of these constitutive agents, that failure of you to write reg number would lead you to a missing marks. And further, I would also ask them, in fact, let me tell you, for somebody to have a missing marks, or when exams is presented to you, it is at 100%. Immediately you write your reg number and your name, it when you start deducting. Meaning, I would rather advocate, I would rather make them aware, preference, to write those their reg numbers, and again to attend classes, because you'll realize there are some lecturers will come with impromptu cards, and by so missing such classes, they would suffer the cases of missing marks. And on the side of lecturers, there are some lecturers that, I don't know which language should I use, which word, but there are some lecturers who misplaced our transcripts.
Do you have proof for that? Do you have proof of lecturers who misplaced the transcripts?
Not really.
And if you don't have proof, then you can't bring a no-go concern about a lecturer and you don't have proof. Then you have to take back your word.
Well, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
Okay, Mr. Bernard, you know, let us be realistic. You can't come in a show and start saying that a lecturer is misplacing a booklet, yet you don't have an evidence, and you're claiming the absence of evidence. The evidence was up. What is that, surely?
Thank you very much, Mr. Host. Just the same way you posed the question to me that there are some there are some students who are not writing their reg numbers. Can you table the evidence of those who have not written their reg numbers? If no, then so the same way I'd put it. Meaning, what we are just trying to bring up, Mr. Balozi, is a situation. We are just trying to think of what is it that could transpire. We are not certain about this. Then if you are saying that we have students who are not writing their reg numbers, then indeed you know them and you should table.
Mr. Bernard, you talked about missing marks. What are the causes of missing marks then?
We've just highlighted them. One, a student may, I use the word may fail to write their reg numbers.
But again, you're telling me I don't have evidence. Do you
Yes,
have evidence?
that's why. I'm a student of English and literature. I study linguistics.
Do you also have evidence on the same?
The use of the word may means it is 50-50%. It is a 50-50 way.
Give me the 50%. Let's assume the other 50%.
Not really. I think you, in this interview, Mr. Balozi, you are being more subjective than being objective.
You know, Mr. Bernard, it's very wrong to have a sweeping allegation against something without having any scintilla of evidence. And speaking on without maybe talking about the present context, yet we have the past affiliation that you're trying to put on board, Mr. Bernard. Maybe let's get to the next point of question, as we'll get back to you. Maybe just think about it, about the student IDs. We have Mr. Peace and Jacob talking about the student IDs. We have a body in the institution that is mandated to, delegated the duty to issue student IDs to students that are admitted the first years. What about the student IDs? What did you do? Mr. Peace, Madam Peace, sorry.
Okay, about the early provision of student IDs, the concern, what made me write that manifesto is that I have some friends who are in 4th year, but they don't have their student IDs. Maybe some also are in 3rd years, are in 2nd years, you know. And so I was trying to look into it. How come somebody does not have the student ID? I cannot pinpoint or blame anyone as per now, but what I can say to tackle this manifesto, when I'm given the power, I will try to create like a awareness to the students before that process of producing the student IDs. Before that time, I will try to create awareness to the student that the right procedures to be followed, and working closely with the class reps, I will ensure that every detail is given out on time, and also I will be following up to ensure that each and every name is being considered with the board that is supposed to produce the student IDs. Yes, so it's just a matter of following up when the process is going on to ensure that each and every student who has correctly submitted their details gets the student ID on time.
Yeah, Mr. Jacob, your take on the same?
Thank you. When it comes to provision of school IDs, I think that manifesto is split into two. I was talking of release of student IDs on time, and I'm also talking of working on backlogs. So when I start on backlogs, before I come to the release of student IDs, I wish that even there are some third years that have not yet gotten their school IDs. And Mr. Balozi, to be specific, I just want to work hand in hand with the Office of the Registry, FEDCOS as a faculty, because there are very many IDs that are just there for display, and I personally saw them. So I just want to ensure that these IDs are distributed to the specific owners or holders. Then,
Mr. Jacob, just to cut you, there is an innocent student somewhere, a comrade somewhere, who doesn't know the process in which the IDs are processed. And you as a Congress aspirant, I believe that you have the detail with you.
Yes, yes.
Maybe you can highlight some innocent student somewhere who doesn't know about the process and would wish to know.
So first of all, the students are mandated to take their passports and pictures at the nearest the KCB branch. From there, they are processed. Then when it comes to distribution, they are distributed at a faculty level.
Is it only nearest KCB branch, or there is a specific branch? Maybe someone in Nyamira will take...
There is a specific KCB branch, Egerton University branch. So when they are processed, they are distributed to different faculties because students are many here. So when it comes to the faculty, now the Congress, as a Congress, I have to chip in and work hand in hand with the Office of the Registry, because that's the office that is responsible for the distribution of the IDs. So to do that, I need to work harmonious with the class reps, and through the class rep, I will be able to reach as many students as possible and ensure that they are distributed on time. When it comes...
Mr. Jacob, just to cut you again, you previously said that you went to the registry and saw quite a number of lying idle IDs over there, right?
Yes.
You as a leader, you are mandated to, you already have leadership qualities within you.
Yes.
I believe that at this point you should be able to take the IDs and slot and see this one is for this program, this one is for this program.
Yes.
Let me take them back.
Yes.
Till there you went there and saw them and let them be and said, I will do that after I'm elected.
Yes. But when it comes to this, Mr. Balozi, I'm a student, I'm a comrade here. And you can't say that you have to follow protocol. There are some tasks that are allocated to the Congress. Class reps have tasks. So we have to follow the protocol. If it's a matter of the delegation or release of distribution of school IDs, then I think this is a matter that I can't just jump the protocol and do it by myself. So that was just a point on backlogs. Those ones that are there but have not yet been released. When it comes to timely release of school IDs, what I ought to do as a Congress FEDCOS, I just want to work harmonious with all other elected Congresses so that we ensure that the timeline for the release of school IDs is included in the USA Constitution, because it's by doing so that we'll have a timeline, specific timeline for the release of school IDs, and I think we'll be moving forward as a faculty and as an institution.
But surely, Mr. Jacob, I believe there is a specific time given out for the release of IDs, and it has been there even before you were admitted. Let me ask you, do you have your student ID personally?
Yes, I have it.
Do you have your student ID, Mr. Dasky? You don't have your student ID. But did you acquire one? Were you able to get it? Okay, yeah. You misplaced it. Madam Peace, do you have a student ID?
Yes.
Do you have one?
Yes.
But again, how comes it's a problem on both of you have got student IDs?
So what I was talking about, yes, the student IDs,
personally, you have one.
They usually come, but they come late. So what we are advocating for, they should at least come.
You're saying it comes late. What about, let us assume that it comes in time XY.
Yes.
What if time XY is the time that has been gazetted for the student ID to be produced?
But
what about, okay, maybe give us the timeline that it should be coming out.
I think they should be coming out, if late, then at the end of second semester first year.
Have you confirmed that? Are your details fact? Are you giving us factual information?
Like,
is there anywhere you've confirmed that they should be coming out during that process?
That's what I ought to do as a Congress. That's the same way I told you. if it exists that they should be provided in the second year, then if it was gazetted that will be provided in second year, anything can be implemented.
Is this.
Yes.
Do you have evidence that it should be produced at that particular time that you've stipulated to us?
That's what I want to enforce, so that they can come
at that time. But you can't give us false information to comrades that it should be that time.
No. Like as a leader, you must come up with a way of ensuring that something
again,
happens.
Let
so that's
you.
my way of working as a Congress.
Let me ask you,
yes.
For you to have the ambition of vying for the Congress,
yes,
you must have done the background check. And
yes.
now, as you are coming here,
yes.
you should have known the exact time.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Do you know the exact time?
I know the exact time.
What time is it?
Because mine I received when I was year 2 semester 1.
So to mean they should be
coming at the end of semester 1. So that's why I was suggesting these things, they should be coming at the end of year 1 semester 2.
Okay, gentlemen, we've talked about the student IDs, and I believe we've got texts from different opinions, and I know our comrades are enlightened on the same. We are going to the issue clubs and faculties and activities. We have Madam Peace, Mr. Bernard, Mr. Jacob, and Dusky. Probably all of you. You have talked about dormant club, dead clubs, revival of clubs. Just from Mr. Jacob, Mr. Bernard, kindly give me one dead club that you know. You talked about maybe resurrecting some clubs. Give us any club that is dead that you know. Just name the club. Any club that is dead that you want to revive. You talked about it in your manifesto. Just name one club.
Would you excuse
name
me?
The club.
I didn't speak of one which is dead, one which is anything. I spoke of in my manifesto number 8. Strengthen clubs and associations within the faculty.
Thank you. Okay, give us the one weak club that is there, that is not strengthened, that you know.
FEDSA.
Just name a club.
FEDSA.
FEDSA. Are you part of it?
Yes.
And what did you do as you were part of it? You can't just watch a ship sail and maybe capsize in the ocean and then come out and say, I now want to get it from the ocean after it's capsized. You should have done something as a leader.
Well, now, in FEDSA, this is one which is generally meant for all students in FEDCOS as a faculty. And me saying to strengthen is not necessarily saying that perhaps it's dying, but it's just to give it, to rekindle it in such a way that its activities is felt. Because as we speak here, Mr. Balozi, you'll realize when you ask outside there, majority of we students ain't informed. And to me, what we'd done in FEDSA, I was just a member. I'm just a member. So, you know, as a member, you would only give some ideas which can be used. You would only be allowed to propose certain ideas. Would we take as this? Then those who are in the executive, I think, could best answer their achievement there. But insofar as maybe say that such a contribution need to be done, what need to be taken, then I'm part as a member and as an active member who contributes so.
Okay, what's your understanding of strengthening a club? Or a weak club? What's your understanding of the same?
My understanding of strengthening something, it making its objectives work.
Okay, just hold it on there. Just pause it there, so kindly. Making the objectives work. To mean they are not working till now. They are not working. For you to make something work, it means it's not working, right? Okay, it's fine. Madam Peace, what's your take? You told us here that you as Madam Peace, you want to functional. You stipulated that functional clubs and associations within the faculty. You didn't explain anything.
Yes, and thank you once again. Functional clubs and association within the faculty. Yes, I must say that it's not that the clubs are not functioning. You know, so my statements means that I am adding something that it's not there into the clubs and the association. Just to mention one thing that I'm adding, yes, I think you are about to ask that. Yes, just to mention, I am someone who loves fun activities. So I want to add it on these clubs and association. For example, these competitions like dancing, singing, sports activities. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Fedcos, you know, these coffee hours within the faculty. Now, these competitions will be accompanied by certificates. Certificates will be giving a student who is performing at least the push to present a quality thing, and yet still this one who is sitting down and watching is being at least his mental, he's being energized and entertained. Yes, that is what I'm adding in the clubs and association, just to bring the
gentlemen and ladies,
yes.
let us be realistic here. We have got a congress of sports and activities, surely.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. You're saying you're adding these. We have got clubs like IVSAM that has been holding its activities in Fedcos.
Yes.
You don't say they have not been. You've been saying that we have had a record of no activity, but activities have been held in Fedcos quite time immemorial.
Okay, yes, they have been held, Cindy, but it is conjunction with other faculties, like interfaculties activities. It is not like within the faculty.
Okay, just to ask you personally, have you taken part in any of the activities that have been held there?
Any activity in Fedcos? Yeah, one.
One.
Yes.
To mean you confirm activities have been done in Fedcos?
Yes, but not live
But again, why are you saying
activities.
that? Why is it in your manifesto and you have confirmed activities have been held in Fedcos?
Kindly note that I've said I'm just adding flavor. It's not that they are not there. It's the flavor I'm adding.
So to mean it's not, this one is not a concern for comrades?
It's a concern because I'm personally a comrade.
Okay.
Yes.
Let us go to Mr. Jacob. Mr. Jacob, which activity do you take part in Fedcos?
Take part in quite a number of activities.
To mean you are confirming activities are there?
Activities are there.
Thank you. Mr. Dasky, what activities do you take part in Fedcos? Give the mic.
Okay, thank you. For me personally, the activities I do take part in are affiliated to Fedcos. It's not necessarily in Fedcos. So activities are there, activities are ongoing.
Are they in your manifestos? Should we say you are misleading comrades anyway? It's fine. Let us go to the next manifesto due to time.
No, I have to explain mine.
Yeah, you'll explain, but due to time, let us get to the... This is my show, ladies and gentlemen. Time is running.
You can't... you know, Mr. Balozi, when you skip this manifesto without me explaining my manifesto, then we will mislead comrades. So I have to, because it's my right to explain it.
Okay, for you, let me get to your manifesto. You said facilitate all active associations and forums in the faculty.
Yes.
To mean you, Mr. Jacob,
yes.
The other dormant and the way my friend Bernard has put it, dying clubs, we are going to abandon them. But we only going to focus in the active associations. What about the other?
I have a reason for my manifesto. Thank you for giving me this chance. I said specifically active associations because there are some associations that we know them by name, but they are dormant, they are not functional, you know. But in my period, 8 months, Mr. Balozi, I can't deceive you right now and I can't deceive comrade that I'm going to revive an association and make it thrive better. So for the short run, I want to ensure that these active associations, they are performing better by facilitating the activities. And from this facilitation of the activities, it will take me to my manifesto number 1. And when it comes to these associations, I ought to make this association live so that they can have a very wonderful welfare kitty. And from this welfare kitty, we can come up with other ways of raising some extra money so that we can now cater for my manifesto number 1. So it's not all about abandoning other dormant activities, but it's about working with all active activities, facilitating their programs, and ensure that they perform very well. And I think...
Yeah, thank you. Actually, you're taking us to the next manifesto. That is welfare of the comrades.
Yes.
Your first manifesto was introduce a comrade Asiname initiative and advocate for welfare of the girl child.
Yes.
Let me take a look again to the any other manifesto. I can see here we have Madam Peace also. Talked about betterment of student welfare by bargaining for equity and fairness in bursary and fairness in distribution of meal cards. Again, Mr. Bernard, you have talked about the same. You've said that advocate for improvement of comrades' welfare within the faculty. Let me start with Madam Peace. Fairness in distribution of meal cards. You have served as a peer councillor. Peer councillors and also are normally mandated the task of distribution of meal cards. To mean you've been watching the impunity of inequality happening in your silence.
Okay, thank you. So,
No,
you
just answer that. You've been watching the iniquity of unfairness happening, and you've gone in silence.
I have a reason why I was silent. Because
So to mean you are confirming there is iniquity in the distribution of milk cards.
iniquity,
There is
yes,
inequality.
yes.
You can
in
mention
way.
some instances and scenarios. With
Instances
evidence.
and scenarios.
Yeah.
Okay, since I don't have the evidence right
But,
here
yeah.
and right now, but I can confirm that they have been iniquity.
Which case? Sure.
Okay, which case? Okay, let's say for example, somebody is giving her friend or his friend a milk card, yet a milk card is supposed to be given to someone who is needy.
What about if what if the friend is needy?
Yes, now that is correct, but me, I'm saying when the friend is not needy and is being
And that's
given
why I'm
the
asking, do
milk
you have
card.
any you had a position in peer counseling?
Yes.
You are an official there. As an official in
I'm
peer
not
counselors, you are not able to raise the issues of inequality. Now, will you now raise it as a Congress?
Because there is a difference of power between the two people, a Congress and a peer council.
But you have a subordinate. There is that the person at the head, the chairperson. Did you raise anything of that sort to him?
Okay, I might
He is
have.
Mr. Duke. You might have.
I might have, but I have never raised the issue because at my position, I was just looking at things in the ground first. You cannot just pop out. You know, you need first to look things deeply before coming into conclusions.
But I believe we have EUSA that was there. You're working with the EUSA that you now want to get into, and you are not able to raise the issues to them. We have the councillors who are there with us. We have the Deans of Students' Office that you are not able to raise the issues there. And now you want to tell us that now you will now raise the issue to who?
Kindly note that there is a difference between the powers of these two people, a Congress and a peer councillor. A Congress is more close to the director welfare than a peer councillor.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
You as a peer councillor, you work directly under the office of the Dean of Students.
Yeah.
Are you confirming my sentiment?
Yes.
To me, you are so close to get to the Dean of Students, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but if you are not able to raise it there, then...
Protocol is observed, Bona Chair. Protocol is observed. I must reach the student, the director welfare, before I reach the Dean of Students.
Okay, Mr. Bernard, on your take, on the association welfare of the comrades. Advocate for the improvement of comrades' welfare within the faculty. That's your manifesto. Meanwhile, we'll get, sorry for the technical hitch, we are getting back to Mr. Jacob. Explain to us your take on the welfare.
Thank you. That's now part and parcel of my third manifesto, and thank you for bringing back to my first manifesto. So when it comes to association, what I want to do with this active association is to facilitate their functions. And to facilitate their function, first of all, I have to encourage member participation. And it's through member participation that this association will surely perform and thrive well. Number two, we have to also make a member drive or an initiative, so that as the current members, we need to expand on these members. And when we expand on these members, there are some very many activities that will be able to ensure that they happen, and they will help in facilitating and making these associations great. Number three, we also have to use this association, and specifically, I don't want to use one association for the whole faculty, but I want to use the departmental associations. So in this departmental association, if we can come together and raise some money through this event, for example, an association for AESA, for example, is an association. For example, if we can facilitate activities of AESA by maybe having some mentorship programs or some activities that will be able to raise some few cash, even if it's a 100 ticket money, this thing will contribute to a very strong welfare kitty. And if we do that, I can assure you, Bwana Balozi, I was doing some quick, simple mathematics before I even opted to go for this seat. And if my maths is right, I was doing a quick recap of 60 per day in 5 days. That's at least 5 working days in a week, and we'll get 300. So that's 300. Yeah, so this 300, I was doing just a quick maths. I take, for example, Department of Curriculum Instruction and Educational Management, 200 needy students. If you multiply this 300 with 200 needy students, Mr. Balozi, if my maths is good, then we'll get around 60,000.
Where's this 60 shillings coming from?
60, I was taking, for example, we have to facilitate these comrades, not necessarily by using the USA meal card, but that are always given per semester, but I want to introduce another meal card at a faculty level, as for Fedco's comrades alone, apart from the USA one.
My question is where the 60 shillings that you're originating the arithmetics with.
Now I'm making an assumption that I will be providing milk card for lunch only. That is 60 bob.
So the 60 shillings will be coming from you.
Then now I want to give you the source after my quick mathematics.
Just give us the source because of time.
Yeah, so this is 60,000 in a department, for example, curriculum instruction, education management. So I'm hoping if this association will be able to raise this money through the ways that I've highlighted to you, we can be able to raise close to 15,000 to 20,000.
No, my question is where the 60 shillings coming from. You're evading my question. Anyway, it's fine.
60 shillings. 60 shillings. I told you. I'm just making an assumption. 60 per lunch per comrade, in 5 days in a week. That is 300 shillings. For 2,000, at least 200 students. That brings you to 60,000. So this 60,000 is the one that I'm trying to explain to you, the source of this 60,000 to make this program work.
Mr. Dasky, you said in your manifesto that you're going to strengthen communication between the administration, comrades, and the representatives. In the EUSA, we have the Secretary General who is mandated to do that. You as a Congress, you're mandated to do that. Disseminate information from the SGC to the class reps. And then the class reps will do it to the comrades. How are you going to take this? And it's already working.
My take is, so here, it's there are three wings we've discussed here, right? We've talked about the administration, we've talked about comrades, we've talked about representatives. For here, the administration is at a faculty level. That is from the top tier part of the administration up there. That is the administration in the context of this manifesto, the comrades and the representatives. That is one. When it comes to representatives and comrades, I think we've known the multiplicity roles that all these things come to frame, and the success of every era is contributed by all these three layers. So when it comes to the administration, it comes to addressing what comrades are facing, offering alternative one or two ideas that the administration can add to the table. Also, if it's to comrades, is to give feedback and is to give the take of the administration when it comes to all these matters. So representatives, it is also about helping them, guiding them, and letting them understand what comes from the administration and what also the representatives can contribute to the table. So it is a frame that is governed by open communication, that is governed by accountability from my end, which covers for manifesto number 1. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Bernard, you also have had the same manifesto with Mr. Dasky, and you said that you will harmonize the link between the students and faculty administrators. How are you going to make sure this takes place? You as considering the fact that you are a comrade like the others.
Thank you very much. Would you please allow me to answer the question that you posed to me before the technical error?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the question was focusing on my manifesto number 7, which states that to advocate for the improvement of comrades' welfare within the faculty. When one speaks of for welfare of students, it touches a lot. It goes into social and economic perspectives into the students. And one of the things that I would like to acknowledge is that this thing won't be possible with me alone as the Congress for Fedcos. Being the fact that I will be elected and serve in the Hausa Parliament, we also have, because it is something that the welfare concerns, it cuts across all faculties. Therefore, I would table some of the bills, like for example, I was thinking of the issues of meal cards, which they are speaking of. My question is on the finance basis. The last time I saw a meal card, it was 50 shillings. And I tried to imagine, going by now, what 50 shillings can...
Just to seek clarity, which type of meal card was it? Because we have different types. We have from the Chancellor's meal card, we have that meal card that we get on the run-up to the examination period. We have different organizations giving meal cards here. Particularly, we have the Chancellor's and the one that comes from the Deans of Students or from the EUSA meal cards. So which meal card are you talking about here?
I'm speaking of EUSA meal cards.
50 shillings.
50 shillings.
You are sure? Are you certain with what you're saying, really?
I may not be. I acknowledge because thank you for informing me of the various types of meal cards. Yeah. But the one I saw, I've never touched one, but the one I saw last was 50 shillings. But whichever type of meal card it is,
But I'm happy
it
at
will
least
be
you-
unsatisfactory.
Yeah, you just seek certainty first, and then we'll have to talk about that as we progress, right? You have to seek certainty first.
Well, thank you. I'll do.
Madam Peace.
I think I did not completed answering my question.
Just seek certainty first. We can't discuss something that
Okay,
we don't have.
Oh,
Surely, it's my show. Just give.
it's a show. But you do not have the monopoly of wisdom to dictate whom you are interviewing.
Surely, I'm the host, Madam Peace.
Yes.
Mr. Bernard, just seek certainty. You can't speak out of a hot air here. You can't tell us milk card is 50 shillings and you know there are different types. And you don't know the type. Madam Peace.
Yes.
You talked about extension of the zones of attachment to all regions of the country.
Yes.
Have you gone for attachment personally?
I'm yet to
You are yet to go.
Yes.
And you're already talking of extension of zones. Why? It's good though. Explain to us how we are going to do this.
Okay.
And which zones are you talking about? And give us the area of jurisdiction where the attachments have been.
Okay. Why I posed this question is that the fact that some of us, yes, we are like for us, we are going for our teaching practice earlier than we expected. Now, some of us were not that prepared, these places where to stay and everything. So the extension part was just to sit down with the dean of the faculty and have a very good conversation and negotiation how we can help these people that are not that prepared, because all of us are not financially that stable. Now, when we sit down with the dean and we negotiate with her, then this student can be able to go somewhere that they can be comfortable with. As early as we are expected to go, we can have that extension part so that students maybe can go near their homes and everything. And this aspect was just to be cleared by the dean. Yes, I started by saying I can sit down and negotiate. Yes, the dean will give me the right answers.
Okay, thank you. So you are going to advocate and negotiate. You're not going to put it into action. Okay.
By the help of the dean, I'll put it into action.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Jacob Mangeni, you said that you're going to address attachment, placement, and educational trips. You and me know very well that before a unit is released, there is a catalog of that unit. The person who designed the unit sat down and saw it twice that at this particular point in time, these students ought to go for a field trip. These students ought to go for an educational trip. On the contrary, there are units, this person or this group or this team saw it wise that they should be going for an educational trip. So how are you going to do this? Yet the experts in that unit already saw it's not wise for people to go in that educational trip. And already I know we have some attending the educational trips.
First of all,
as a comrade, not as a COD or as a
yes. To reiterate on the fact on your statement, it's true. If your unit is designed for field trip, you will go for field trip. If it's not designed for field trip, you can't go for field trip. But there are some specific units and specifically some courses that these students are supposed to go for field trip. But now sometimes you get there are few. If I can just highlight few courses, for example, CDEV, community development, these guys, their market, they need exposure. And I feel like through the interaction, because for me to come up...
Are you taking CDEV?
I'm not taking CDEV.
But you're already an expert in the field and you know that they need to go for field trip.
Before I thought of going and advocating for this, you first of all come to the ground and check the facts right first of all. So I interacted with students from CDEV. That's why I included it in my manifesto.
Okay, thank you. But I'll just ask a simple question.
Yes.
Did you ask the experts, the lecturers teaching the particular units?
Yes, I interacted with some.
But you've said you interacted with the students. Why are you lying on
that? Before I came up with this manifesto, you have to check the facts right. And if you'll agree with me, some courses such as CDEV, they need exposure because their market is that tricky, like they need this exposure. But to find, yes, the field trips are there, but they are now too minimal. So what I was advocating for, at least if we can extend the field trip, because me I believe is not just a matter of having 100% like every time field trip, but if you can expand on what we have right now, then the better for the comrade, and that's what I'm going for.
Mr. Jacob,
yes.
Let us be realistic.
Yes.
Person XY, team XY sat down and said that this team will be going for this field trip at the end of this unit or this.
Yes.
And maybe it's so it was that this other team will not be going.
Yes.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
So let me give you an example to answer your question.
Now,
for example, I'm taking a JED. in our program, there is a specific task whereby we are supposed to be taught on how to drive tractors. I'm at third year right now, but we have never been taught how to drive tractors. And this is also an internal field trip, because when you talk of field trip, there are external field trip, extended ones, and the ones that are held from within. So if I'm an Nigerian, I've gone through the catalog, we are supposed to be taught on how to drive these tractors, and we have not yet done so. So what's my role as a congressperson? What's my role as a leader? I have to advocate for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Youth and Leadership Show, and we've had our esteemed leaders all vying for the Faculty of Education and Community Studies Congress person seat. I'll just give them a minute or so, 30 seconds to give their parting shot as we leaving. Just a parting shot to the comrades.
Thank you very much for this grand opportunity. It's about time we are marching into elections. Let us choose leaders who are competent, who are driven, who are dedicated, who are willing to put in everything. It's about time we shift or we lift the perception of leadership. Vote Agape Daski. Let's make FEDCOS great together. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Peace.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Peace, and I would like to appreciate everyone that is watching. Yes, thank you so much. And on 2nd April, I'm relying on your vote, and let's embrace diversity. Yes, when it's a man, it's a woman next. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bernard, your parting shot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balozi, for even organizing this. This is in case an achievement. Thank you very much. To comrades outside there, I say that this is a time that we must do things universalized way. Let us go and vote nothing else but a competent leader. Otherwise, thank you very much. And on the 2nd April, Uma Bernard Hargreaves is the name.
Yeah, Mr. Jacob, finally.
Thank you. Just to sum up, I would say like some things are bigger than us. FEDCOS is bigger than us, and serving comrades is bigger than all of us. So I'm committed to the task. I believe I'm competent. I believe I'm vocal. I believe I'm vibrant. And if entrusted, together we'll make FEDCOS work. Let's improve our circumstances, because if we don't, no one will improve for us. Vote Jacob, vote for change. Thank you.
Well, gentlemen and lady, thank you very much. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, there are 6 contestants in the row, but we have been privileged to have 4 of them here. So I want to give my thanks to you, gentlemen. I want to thank the cameramen, the editors, the whole team that has been behind us. Thank you. Let's meet next time. I was your host, Dickens Omolo.
We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.